Title: The Lake of No Return. Trey never imagined fatherhood would turn into a battlefield. From the day his daughter was born, he promised himself he'd be present, no matter what. And he bought all his daughter's school supplies, shoes, winter coats, even extra groceries. He even paid half of Star-Keyshia's mortgage to make sure his child had a roof over her head. But it was never enough for Star-Keyshia. When Trey moved on and married Melissa, building the family he had once dreamed of with Star-Keyshia, the bitterness turned venomous. Court papers came in the mail, child support. She ignored the parenting agreement they had built together, and the judge didn't care. The worst came when she accused him of abuse. Lies of bruises and rage, whispered in the courtroom with crocodile tears rolling down her cheeks. Trey remembered the slam of the gavel, the handcuffs, the cold jail walls, the humiliation. Months later, he was out, sitting in anger management, forced to raise his hand and admit he had problems. But the only problem he had was Star-Keyshia's spite. And still, he paid. He provided. He swallowed his pride for his child. But every time he dropped his daughter off, there was another man lounging on Star-Keyshia's couch, drinking beer from a fridge Trey had stocked. His blood boiled, but Melissa would place her hand on his shoulder and whisper, "Let it go. We have our own life." But letting go was impossible. It was a Thursday night, rain tapping against his windshield. He just wired Star-Keyshia more money after she'd threatened to take him back to court again. His hands trembled on the steering wheel as he drove with no destination in mind. The memories wouldn't leave him. Their first kiss, their first fight, the years of betrayal, the lies, the jail, the smug look on her face when the judge believed her over him. Finally, he found himself parked by the lake. Their lake, the place where, as kids, they carved their names into a tree and swore they'd love each other forever. Forever had turned into war. He stared at the black water for what felt like hours before pulling out his phone to call her. "Why would I meet you there?" Star-Keyshia's voice was sharp, suspicious. Trey took a deep breath, softening his tone. "Because I miss you. Because I still love you. Maybe we can try again. For the sake of our child." A long pause, then a quiet laugh. 10 minutes. When she arrived, the night was thick with silence. The moon hung low, painting the water silver. "You really called me out here for this?" she scoffed, folding her arms. Trey smiled faintly. "Remember when we used to sneak out here? Swim in the middle of the night? Just us. No worries, no problems." Her expression softened, just for a moment. "Yeah, I remember." "Come on," he said, tugging off his jacket. "One last swim, like old times." She hesitated, but pride wouldn't let her back down. "Fine." The water was cold, their laughter echoing faintly as they waded deeper. For the first time in years, there was silence between them. No insults, no threats, just the sound of rippling waves. But silence can be deadly. Hours later, Trey walked into his house, his clothes damp, his face unreadable. Melissa stirred in their bed but didn't wake. He lay down beside her, staring at the ceiling. Back at the lake, the water had stilled. The night was quiet, and Star-Keyshia would never make it home. The lake had claimed her, and Trey finally felt free. The end. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.